Alright, so I'm gonna do some experimenting today. I have some of our old microgreens. These are broccoli microgreens. Are still coming up for the most part though. They're done. And I thought it might be kind of cool to just put them in a planter. Best case scenario, they grow into something, and worst case scenario, I make some awesome compost. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, so I found a spot where I'm going to go ahead and put this planter. I picked over here. It's sunny, so it'll get some sunshine. Maybe something will grow. It's also out of the way because I don't expect it to grow. It's going to be probably pretty ugly and just dirt. And this is where we had dirt dumped. So it will be really easy for me to just shovel it right in there. Swallows are out. Isn't there a gardening saying with that? What are you supposed to plant when the swallows come out? Alright, so I went ahead and put some dirt in there. I didn't put too much because I'm going to use the dirt right from the microgreens to dump in there. And I might add more microgreens as well, so they're going to have dirt, so I didn't want it too full. That's it. That's all I'm going to do with that. Grow dead microgreens. Make some compost. So we have had these solar lights at our house since we moved in almost 10 years ago. And for Christmas, my father-in-law got us some new solar lights. So I'm going to pull these old ones out, and it's time to get rid of them and put the new ones in. Oh, a gardener snake! Right there. It scared me. I called the kids up to pick weeds for me, but there he is right in the wood chips. I asked them to pick weeds in the wood chips, so we'll see how far they get. The kids went to get some kneelers because weeding was too hard. So I'm trying to put these together. They are so pretty. They kind of look like cracked glass. I kind of like that. It's fun. Oh my. I am so glad we live where we do, because this is about the only snakes we ever see. That little wheelbarrow comes in so handy. It's so fun to be able to put out something that just kind of is something to make you smile, make you happy. As much as we're enjoying planting all the vegetables and flowers for the bees, it's fun to just kind of have some nice stuff too. So I'm excited to put these out. I recruited some muscle. I know it's daylight now, but that just looks so beautiful with those little lights out there. I'm excited to see what they look like tonight. So I'm out in the garden, and we have our first signs of life on our little pear tree. So we got our very first blossoms on our pear tree. This tree is about 2 years old, and we are so excited because maybe that means we're getting some pears. So we weren't really expecting to get pears on this tree, being this pear tree doesn't have a pear, another tree. So we're hoping, oh, do you see the little bee there? I don't want to scare them. A couple little bees. Oh, I even see a dragonfly. Oh my goodness. Life is just like flying all around here. Well, I came out to the garden because I'm going to do something today that I've always wanted to do and I've never done. And quite frankly, I think Matt thinks I'm crazy. But I want to sketch the garden. Do like a rough layout of how much space we have, what is already in certain spaces like the trees that we obviously can't move, and where we can plant things this year. So I'm going to just kind of draw a quick sketch of the size of the garden, and then hopefully I'll have some time to kind of putz on the design. So we've never actually measured out our garden space. It turns out our garden is 58 feet by 32 feet. This is a lot bigger than I thought it was. Alright, so Matt and I finished sketching out kind of how we want the garden to look this year. We still left a few openings and we know things will change, and I wish our garden was this perfect rectangle, but we've got a little bit of a slope in it. So I went ahead and I drew kind of where the gate to the garden is, where we're going to go in. I have 2 trellises this year. We've had a trellis with cucumbers on it for a long time. But we're going to do 2 this year, so I'm kind of excited for that. So we're going to put some pickling cukes on the 2 trellises, and then just kind of for perspective, this is pretty much like a wood chip walkway, and this runs along our lean-to. And the lean-to, we keep firewood on this side. Matt keeps kind of some like chickens, flies, and stuff here. Brooder, where the baby chicks are, and then the chicken coop, which can either, it has a big door that opens up so they can go this way, which would be into the garden, or a little door that opens up on the other side of the fence, and then they just kind of have like a chicken run back here. And we use electric fencing, so we can kind of portion it off however we want. And I drew this way too big. The woods is probably like after here, but on this side, the woods is along the garden too. So when you walk in the gate, we kind of have this wood chip area. I think we're going to end up doing something with potatoes somewhere in this area. We're just not quite sure how we're going to do it yet, so I didn't draw anything yet. I love to have sunflowers along this back fence right here. Every year, usually we put our trellis right here. So I don't know, it's going to be different. But the sunflowers here I think are going to be really cool because we can see them even over everything in the garden. We'll be able to see them, and the seeds will fall and then the chickens will eat them because they'll be over here. So that's really kind of fun. And I think we're going to plant a row of peppers here, and this is for the kids so that they can clearly see where they should not be stepping, so they're not stepping on any of our little things. And so then we kind of tried to make little walkways for them here because they love to be in the garden. So great, we think that's wonderful. Some onions in here and some more peppers. And then this is where our strawberries are now. They're kind of coming out into this area and over into here. So we're going to just try to contain them more. Matt's looking at building just kind of a little bit of a ledge so they stay in this square area, which hopefully makes them more populated in that area, and that'd be good. And then our blueberries, we actually just have 2 little blueberry plants here now, and they don't do the greatest, but we're hoping again if we do that kind of like wood barrier, they'll stay there. Our raspberries, I don't know if you can really contain raspberries. I don't know, we've tried to plant them so many times, and now that they're finally coming back, they are doing great, so we'll see. I just kind of plopped some zucchini around our garden. If you planted zucchini before, you know that they take up a lot more room than you think they do. We have a pear tree and an apple tree in the garden, and there really isn't a ton we can do too close to the tree. I'm thinking we should put a trellis between the 2 plants and then put some more cucumbers on there. We have lots of cucumbers this year. I think it would look pretty, use the space. And then the rest of our garden probably looks really, really busy. We're going to put some cucumbers on the fence and some green beans. We might flip these around. I'm not sure. I have a couple cayenne and jalapeno pepper plants. So then tomatoes. Last year we had 2 hog panels. They're 16 feet long with tomatoes on each side. Instead of having the 2 hog panels, we are upping it to 5. We planted a lot of tomatoes this year, mainly because I find that throughout the year we're not eating tomatoes because we don't have them. Not because we don't want to, but because we don't have them. I don't really like buying canned tomatoes. It would be nice to have a lot put up canned for ourselves. We planted some broccoli and cauliflower, and I'm thinking that this would be a good spot to just kind of put those in. They don't take up too much room. All right, and then we have cabbages. I think we have about 32. Each of these little blocks is 2 feet, so we're giving them each like a 2-foot radius to be in. Right along the edge here, we're looking at planting, we have some bushy cucumbers. So this is the fence. So there is a fence here they can climb, but we're thinking this variety because they grow on the ground a little bit, and they're supposed to deter raccoons. And then just kind of looking at our design, we have quite a few more tomatoes to plant. And we do have about 10 cages that Matt had built a while back. So we're going to take a look and see if we can find some way to use those, because they can just be placed wherever throughout the garden, and that's fine. Actually, not even in the garden would be fine. We could plant them anywhere and use the cage. Well, this is it, kind of our, not really rough. This was my very enjoyable to draw sketch of the garden that Matt so patiently sat through while I colored and enjoyed doing. So, all right, everyone, thanks for spending time planning the garden with me. I hope you are excited to do some planting of your own. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Click that red subscribe button to be notified when we're coming out with our new videos, and you'll see me in the next video. Glad you got to see me again. Bye. So it just is starting to get dark and all the lights are on and it looks so beautiful.
We was waiting for them to come on, but they all come down but that one. But then, see that light in there? I told Mom to take it off because that light was shining on that. And then it turns right on.
And we turned off the light and it turned right on. He was right. Smart kid. Looks so pretty. We're loving it. Simple pleasures.